Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team, Eyewitness News at 10 starts now.
Black smoke fills the air in Loves Park. Fire crews work quickly to put out the flames at a recycling metal plant. The reason, residents had to shelter in place for a portion of their afternoon today.
No need to change something that's already working.
That's the motto RPS officials are following for COVID mitigations in schools. School starts this week. We'll explain the way learning will be different this year. The state of Louisiana bracing the impact of one of the state's strongest hurricanes on record. Ida's path does not seem to be slowing down, coming up the potential impact state officials are expecting. Good evening, I'm Alexis CARPELLO. Hurricane Ida is now one of the worst storms in Louisiana's history and continues to tear through the state. Ida made landfall as a dangerous Category 4 storm, bringing extreme winds and flooding. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is in New Orleans with more.
Hurricane Ida is ripping through Louisiana, leaving devastation in its path. Ida coming ashore as a powerful Category 4 storm and staying as a Cat 4 for several more hours.
This is one of the strongest storms to make landfall here in modern times.
Hurricane hunters flying into the storm's stunning 17-mile wide eye. After landfall, catastrophic storm surge of up to 8 feet, winds up to 150 miles an hour.
We are here in the heart of New Orleans just as this storm has made landfall. You can feel how strong these winds are. This is the Mississippi. This storm is testing the city's flood protection system.
Those systems and levees were built up after Hurricane Katrina exactly 16 years ago. Officials here are still worried about heavy rain causing flash floods.
This is a very dangerous and a very real situation.
Hundreds of thousands in the state are already without power. President Biden visiting FEMA for a briefing, saying the agency deployed 2,400 employees to the region.
As soon as the storm passes, we're going to put the country's full might behind the rescue and recovery.
Now the Mississippi River and the French Quarter are just behind me here, usually lit up, but right now it's darkness. New Orleans says the entire city is without power, citing catastrophic transmission damage. It makes the conditions here a lot more dangerous. While this flash flood warning is currently in effect, officials do still tell us, though, that those water pumps, which are used to get the water off the streets, are running using self-generated power. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, New Orleans.
Volunteers with the Red Cross from Rockford are heading to Louisiana to help with the storm's impact. Volunteer Jackie Speciale, she's leaving tomorrow morning. Speciale and another volunteer will be driving down a Red Cross emergency response vehicle. It will aid in disaster relief to mobilize supplies such as ready-to-eat meals, water, snacks, cleanup kits, and other items. Over a dozen volunteers from Illinois are helping with relief efforts already. Smoke fills the air in Loves Park as fire crews work to put out a fire at a recycling facility. Turns out it was a scrap metal business. Rachel Perry was there on scene today.
Just as precaution, we're just asking the residents to stay inside.
Heavy smoke and burning metals from Simcoe, a recycling metal plant, prompts a message from Battalion Chief Ryan Evans, asking residents to stay inside and setting a perimeter from Elm to Alpine and Windsor to Harlem.
Just with the air quality, the items that are burning, it's not chemicals burning, it's just a lot of metal burning, it's putting off a lot of toxic air.
Simcoe Resources buys scrap iron, steel, aluminum, copper, and other metals, and Evans says those could pose a threat.
Heavy black smoke, it's burning its metal, very polycarbon items right now. As soon as we got to the west side of the building, we saw it was a scrap pile in a contained pit, and we just started surrounding it.
Despite the fire taking nearly 2 hours to put out and large clouds of smoke, Evans tells me the damage is minimal.
No injuries at this time. The building's fine. It's just a contained fire right now. Right now, everything's been contained to the outside of the structure.
That was Rachel Perry reporting. Unvaccinated and vaccinated Illinois residents will now have to mask up indoors starting tomorrow. Pritzker implemented the mandate again on Thursday. The governor made the announcement. He also said vaccines will be required for all pre-K through 12 teachers and staff. Also, hospital, nursing home, urgent care, and physician's office employees will have to roll up their sleeves if they don't get a first dose by September 5th. They'll have to be tested for COVID-19 at least once a week. No need to make sure Rockford Public School students' laptops are fully charged every night. Although they might be using them in schools, Rockford school officials tell us there's not an option for virtual learning this year. All kids will be headed to the classrooms this Thursday. Masks must be worn. RPS is following the Winnebago County Health Department's guidance. Despite some differences, district administrators say kids will feel like they're walking into the classroom they did 2 years ago.
That is going to be so exciting for so many people. We know that in-person schooling and instruction, it provides a safer environment for students. We know that it's the best way, the most optimal way to address their social and emotional and academic needs.
RPS will follow the same sanitation procedures as last year and continue social distancing. Rockford kids are gearing up for school and local residents are coming together to make sure they have what they need. This is the 815 giveaway and celebration. 500 kids have supplies they need for the classroom and even a new haircut to get them ready for school. Organizers tell us it took 3 weeks to put this event together.
It means a world to us to provide the resources that families need coming out of, the year we had last year. Financially and just health-wise. So we have different sponsors out here to provide those resources, and it means the world to us to really be able to give.
Any supplies they have left over, they're going to do pop-ups around town so kids who couldn't make it out today can still get some supplies. A GoFundMe has been set up to help Mason Hayda, a Rockford East High School student that tragically and unexpectedly died this past Thursday. It will help for the family with funeral expenses. He was involved in a crash on Broadway. Mason was 16 years old. He was on the varsity football team at Rockford East High School. The fundraiser will help the family pay. You can find the link at mystateline.com. President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden joining the families at Dover Air Force Base for the dignified transfer of the 13 service members killed at the Kabul airport. Americans still hoping to leave 2 days from the final departure of U.S. forces. ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pinnell has more.
Tonight, with less than 48 hours to go, smoke rising outside Kabul airport as the U.S. strikes ISIS-K militants for the second time. The military revealing an unmanned drone struck a vehicle near Kabul airport, eliminating an imminent ISIS-K threat. The vehicle believed to be carrying a substantial amount of explosive material. An Afghan official telling ABC News that 6 civilians were killed, 4 of them children. The attack, just a day after another U.S. drone strike in Nangarhar province, took out 2 high-level ISIS-K members, a planner and a facilitator, and injured a 3rd fighter.
The fact that 2 of these individuals are no longer walking on the face of the earth, that's a good thing.
The strikes bringing new urgency to the evacuation mission. Hundreds once again clamoring at the gates to the airport, desperate as the final drawdown of U.S. troops gets underway. The State Department today again warning Americans to stay away, citing specific credible threats surrounding the airfield. Only 50 U.S. citizens making it out of Kabul in the last 24 hours, roughly 250 still seeking to get out.
This is the most dangerous time in an already extraordinarily dangerous mission, these last couple of days. And so we will do everything possible to keep people safe, but the risk is very high.
With just 2 more days to go before all troops are withdrawn from the country, it's crystal clear that some of those who risk their lives to help the US-led mission are going to be left behind. US officials say they're working on alternative routes, but that's little comfort to those we've spoken to who tonight are at home saying they feel abandoned and afraid.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Things are pretty quiet for us this evening after we had a few showers and a couple of isolated thunderstorms come through earlier today. No severe weather tied in with that, but had some heavy rainfall and even some gusty winds. A lot of that activity kind of really forming once it got a little bit further to the east. We've got a mostly clear sky. Cold front coming through here, passing to our east this evening, allowing that wind to shift around to the northwest, and that'll help bring in a little more comfortable air here over the next couple of days. A live look with a Marcial SkyTrack camera. Very quiet up there in South Beloit. Things will stay quiet too as temperatures fall back into the lower 60s. Those numbers now upper 60s, low 70s for us at 70 degrees in Rockford, 68 in Freeport, Janesville, 73 now in Dixon, and we're currently sitting at 69 degrees in Monroe. Dew point temperatures coming down a little too from where they've been the last couple of days. Still feeling a little more on the stickier side across our southern counties, but that drier air coming in will allow those temperatures eventually here to drop back into the 50s. So that means we've got a couple of comfortable nights ahead. Tomorrow will feel less humid. It'll be warm for the afternoon, and you might still feel just a little bit of a mugginess as that wind direction kind of works in from the west during the day, but it does shift around to the northwest, and you can see some of that drier air working in across the upper Midwest and the plains. High pressure in control for us means things are going to be pretty quiet. That stays with us here as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Might see a little patchy ground fog early tomorrow morning, but that should really be it. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds popping up for the afternoon. We will see a little more cloud cover build in for Tuesday, and there's a slight chance that we could have a shower, especially to our west and southwest towards the afternoon and evening, just as a little disturbance passes across eastern Iowa and moves into west central Illinois. Nothing that'll be too significant for us, and a good portion of us actually going to stay dry. Temperature wise, we compare last week to what we've got coming up this week. 95 degrees, that was the high temperature last Tuesday. Same temperature yesterday. We made it to 89 today. Those numbers for the upcoming week, much more comfortable in the lower 80s. Let's take you down south because it is a very catastrophic situation that has been unfolding here in Louisiana. Hurricane Ida made landfall here early this afternoon, actually just before noon, as a Category 4 hurricane. Some significant flooding taking place in and around the New Orleans area, where actually they have flash flood emergencies that are in effect with all the rain that has been coming in. The city has lost power, so that is a big concern in itself. Now, some of those heavy rain bands working up further up to the north as the system is weakening now. That's actually moved a little bit further inland, but still look at the wind gusting from now the southeast at 90 miles per hour, almost a 55 mile per hour wind gust there in Baton Rouge. So still a lot of wind and rain to be had. Now, what's going to happen over the next couple of days, eventually that system will continue to weaken. Now a Category 2 hurricane, slowly moving, so this could actually increase the chance for that really heavy rainfall here that'll work up through the south, up through the Mississippi River Valley before hooking up to the northeast, impacting areas like Tennessee and Kentucky with very heavy rain. Wind won't be as strong, but the rain coming down in areas in Tennessee that dealt with flooding last weekend there west of Nashville. 62, that's our number for us tonight. Tomorrow we're up to 85 for the afternoon, so a little bit above that average for our Monday. We'll stay in the lower 80s as we go through the next couple of days. Overnight lows too, upper 50s, low 60s. Slight chance for a shower there on Tuesday, then we introduce that again late Thursday into Friday. We stay low in the humidity heading into the weekend.
Now the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
As Hurricane Ida makes landfall along the Louisiana coast, the Packers and Saints regular season opener down in New Orleans a couple Sundays from now may be surrounded by some uncertainty. As Candace mentioned in her weather forecast, the strength of this storm was tremendous and could cause some serious damage to the surrounding areas. 16 years ago when Hurricane Katrina hit, the Saints' home field, the Louisiana Superdome, was used to house individuals displaced by the storm. The Saints have evacuated and fled to Dallas, where they'll practice at the Cowboys' facilities. While the weather may not be the issue on game day, the devastation caused could result in a similar situation. For Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, he knows from personal experiences how scary these storms can be.
I was in Houston in 2009 and going through Hurricane Ike, and that was not a whole lot of fun. So I just hope they do right by everybody and help everybody stay safe down there, and I'm sure we'll figure it out later.
The biggest questions as of now are, would they find a neutral site? Would they move the game to Lambeau? Or would they postpone the game entirely? This is something to keep an eye on this next week and a half. The Packers are supposed to be going south, while the Bears are going out west for their Sunday night football opener with the Rams. And as we know, Andy Dalton is named the starting quarterback despite Justin Fields showing us he can do more with less during the preseason. After yesterday's 27-24 final, the deadline for teams to make final roster cuts down to 53 is Tuesday. The Bears already have an excessive number of tight ends, but with a 5-reception, 104-yard, and 3-touchdown performance from Jesper Horsted, he may be in line to be one of the 53 on the active roster.
Yeah, it's just going to be kind of a waiting game. You know, there's a lot of really good people that flashed great film this camp, so I'm always competing against them. And I feel like I played my best today, so just wait and see what Tuesday at 3 o'clock brings me.
Today's Crosstown Classic final was painfully beautiful for the Cubs as they got a front row seat to what their team may have looked like had they never traded away Jose Quintana. In the trade for Quintana, the Cubs gave up Dylan Cease and Eloy Jimenez, so it was fitting that they showed out against their former organization. We'll start with Cease, who was lights out on the mound. Over 6 innings, he allowed just 4 hits, 1 run, and struck out 11 batters. And in the 5th, Eloy Jimenez extends the Sox already big lead with a 3-run bomb to right. The Sox win the Crosstown Classic and blow out the Cubs 13-1. And with the way the Cubs are playing, they should call up this kid, Jackson Surma from the Little League World Series Championship. It was Michigan against Ohio State, and Surma rips this one to left. 2-runner score from second and third. Michigan takes a 2-0 lead. And in the 5th, he's up with 2 runners on in scoring position again, grounds it through the middle for a base hit. That's 2 more RBIs, and that would do it. Michigan beats Ohio 5-2 to win the Little League World Series. What a special moment for those kids. We'll be right back.
Candace is back with one last look at our forecast, and we're going to have a little bit of a cooler week than we were before.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that because I think the AC is not working in my building, and it has been really hot in my apartment the last 2 weeks. So I'm happy to see that I can open a window now and get some fresh air.
Yeah, open the windows at night. That'll be nice too.
Yes.
You can let some of that cool air come and cool things off of it. Yeah,
Yes.
but what a rough time to have the air go out. I mean, at least, you know, with the string of 90s that we had last week, a little bit more comfortable here these next couple of nights. Our first WARN interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More, centered down along the Gulf Coast as Hurricane Ida continues to move inland. It will continue to weaken as it does so, but heavy rainfall now going to be a threat as it moves to the north and northeast. Lower 80s for us, just a few isolated showers for rain this week.
Well, thanks for making us your home team. Have a great night.